Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier for the DRF Bets Race of the Day for Thursday, January the 4th. If you sign up to DRF Bets right now, you can access a $200 free bet. No deposit required. All you have to do is go to drf.com/join and use the promo code FREEBET09. Let's take a look at the field for our Thursday race of the day. It's race number 6 at Gulfstream Park. We're going 1 mile on the turf. It's an optional claiming race for newly turned 3-year-old fillies. And when you head on over to the race of the day event page on DRF.com, you can download free formulator past performances and handicap along with us. And Matt, we begin with a very well-bred filly, the number 1. That's her MO.
Yeah, Uncle Mo, about 19.5% with first-time turf runners. This one's a half to 2 turf winners in her own right. You know, if you want to just look at it and say she's going to be forwardly placed in a race where maybe there's some suspect ability from the other fillies in here, maybe that's something you want to consider. I think she's one for me. I would use her underneath.
One of those half siblings that won on turf was pretty good. That's St. Dynaformer, who was stakes placed, I believe, was 3rd in the Calder Derby. This horse sold for $30,000, was in for $50 in the debut. Must have 3 eyes or something, considering the pedigree by the very exciting stallion Uncle Mo. The dam was grade 3 placed on the dirt. That's her MO. Listen, completely unexposed, 10-1 on the morning line, and a questionable quality field. Things to like.
Yeah, absolutely. You can make a case for her. I would assume you could look at her one of 2 ways and say that, you know, this is probably a bad thing for all those reasons you laid out, that she sold for as little as she did. She debuted for 50. She also beat a really, really bad field that day. I would almost kind of say, you know what, if you're looking at her, take the positive approach to her, because this is probably what she's wanted to do all along. And you know what, again, you're catching a field that may not be great.
Little black type for sale, the number 2, Gift of Glory. Stakes placed 2 starts back over a good turf course in the Wait a While. Now in for 50 off a somewhat disappointing performance. I think we used that race as a race of the day on Christmas Eve. Really didn't fire Gift of Glory, and that's the story with her. She doesn't have any pace whatsoever, so she's going to need fast fractions to rally into. And I think the pace will be okay, maybe not fast enough.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going to be, you know, walking or dawdling out there, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to be a barbecue. I don't know. She was a tough one for me. I thought she was interesting in the last race, but my concern was the run 2 back in that Wait a While. It felt like it was a race that favored all the closers, and she was one of them. There was also some moisture in the ground 2 starts back, and most recently there wasn't. I wonder if you do catch a turf course with a little bit of give in it, maybe you move her up.
The number 3 is Lisa Limon, and Lisa Limon is much better on the turf than she is on the dirt. She pulled off a 36-1 shocker in a $50,000 maiden claiming race last time out, but that's a race where you have to go to the chart because the favorite had a 3-length lead in mid-stretch and unfortunately broke down, and Lisa Limon, if that accident doesn't happen, Lisa Limon doesn't win.
Yeah, it was a Pletcher filly, and she decided to try to jump over the inside rail. That obviously didn't work out. This filly came on. I thought she ran just fine. The overall quality of that field is still, you know, wait and see. The 3rd place runner came back to win next out with a 55. The 5th place finisher earned a 43 buyer in the next start. So I don't know if I'm completely sold on that race as a whole. I'm not going to knock her, though. I thought she ran just fine.
Number 4 is Beach Waltz, who goes out for a phenomenal trainer, and Michael Maker. This horse was a winner against maiden special weight competition in her turf and route debut at Gulfstream on December the 17th. We were talking before we came on. That was a really slow pace that she rode to victory that day. They're going to go faster early here.
Yeah, you would imagine they're going to, and I'm not entirely sure. She hasn't shown yet that she can sit. Now, I'm not saying that she can't, but it's kind of one of those things, prove to me that you can before I back get a short number. It was a slow pace. You see the time form color coding. Everything was blue, those fractions. And they went 1-2 around the track. This filly and Jasmine's Gem. And look, the fact that Beach Waltz dug in as gamely as she did, that's a positive, but this is going to be, I would imagine, a different pace scenario.
She certainly can win this race. She's got a lot of upside potential. The fig looks good from both of those figs, even the dirt fig and the turf fig. She doesn't have such an edge over this field that I'm lining up to bet her at 5-2. I would use her, though, in any kind of multiple race wagers. Remember, this race kicks off a 50-cent pick 5. The 5 is Soldier's Pride. And check out this formulator fact for Hall of Fame trainer Bill Mott. Past 5 years with 3-year-olds who just won a maiden race, second off the layoff in turf route, 64%, a $9.21 ROI. I didn't think Soldier's Pride beat much last time out. I thought all in all she got a really good trip and ride by Junior Alvarado, but she earned a 66 buyer. She's got the formulator factor in her corner, and she's got a little bit of tactical speed.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said about that maiden 50 win at Aqueduct. I didn't know that she beat anything, and she had a pretty good trip, all things considered. It looks like she pulled away from the field. I almost feel like it was just more a product of everybody else faltering. I don't think she was really finishing that well. She got the final 5/16 and 31 and 2. I know there was some cut in the ground. To me, she can win. She got an unbelievable formulator fact. I think she's going to be an underlay.
Down from Woodbine is the longest shot on the morning line. The number 6, Trini Pleasure, 15-1, attracting the services of Jose Lezcano. This horse improved with blinkers last time out. She got the blinkers, she got the drop in class that she needed, and she got a weak field. She won with a 42 buyer over the Tapeta surface. Going to have to do a lot better here.
By leaps and bounds. Kevin Attard doesn't usually ship down. This is really his first time coming down the past 5 years. This is a filly needs to jump up in a big way.
No arguments with the Timeform U.S. pace projector for this race. You've got a fast stretch-out sprinter in the number 7, Ms. Mayhem. This horse has shown 5 furlong speed on the turf. Some very fast red color-coded Timeform U.S. pace figures. The question is the mile. You go into this pedigree top and bottom. It is all sprint. If this situation occurs, however, Ms. Mayhem becomes a lot more enticing at the 8-1 morning line.
I was going to say, if you look at that and you try to project and think, if you can get a half in 48 and you're still a length and a half clear, then maybe you've got a puncher's chance. I think she might be the most talented, or one of the most talented in the field. I don't know about the mile distance. She's a full de Filet Mignon who was 1-for-1 on turf, so the turf is not a problem. We know that. The concern is how far she want to go.
She was involved in a little bit of a battle last time out. She took over the lead turning into the stretch, so it says something when you win the duel and lose the war, but it took her forever to change leads in the stretch, and she just looked like a filly that was getting tired at the end of this race. But that's a pretty impressive Timeform U.S. pace projector if she can get out to that lead. Let's take a look at our top selections. I like Ms. Mayhem simply because I think she can steal away to the lead, but I'm not going to be really betting from a single race standpoint. We'll get into my plays in a minute. Let's talk about your top pick, the 8, Camilla Princess, a well-bred filly who overcame a slow pace scenario last time out and rallied into it and still won.
Yeah, and I think that was the thing for me. Visually, I liked everything about it. Now you look at the connections. I'm not saying that they're low profile, but they're some lower profile down in Florida. I have to be honest, the way that she finished with a lack of pace signed on that day at Gulfstream West, she came with a serious run on the outside. That was her first time on turf. First time 2 turns. You see Animal Kingdom on the top. They paid $100,000 for her, so they clearly must have thought there was something here. A little bit of a concerning number for Oscar Gonzalez. Past 5 years, maiden winner, last out 1 for 23. So this isn't necessarily a positive move, but at the same time, I think she's going to float up from the 4-1 morning line. I can't imagine her going off there with the other presence, with the Maker in here, with the Mott in here, with some other ones. I think she probably goes off in that 6-7-1 range, and I think she's got a chance.
And even if the 7 gets loose, she's going to be going quick. I don't think you can slow down a stretch-out sprinter like that. Camilla Princess beat the 3rd place horse last time, and it came back to her 63 buyer speed figure. So Camilla Princess, that buyer might be skewed downward because of the lack of pace in that race. No fractions, hard to get a fast final time. You like Camilla Princess. You're going 8-4-2-5. Ms. Mayhem is my top pick, but this for me is a pick 5 starter. I'm going to use 3 horses as A's, the 4, the 5, and the 7, and I'm going to use Camilla Princess as a backup because, like you, I think she really is going to drift into a playable price.
Yeah, and I think that's really the crux of this race. In a race, unless you love one of the shorter prices, which I don't, and I don't think you do either, I don't settle on anything too short of a number. Make sure you're going to get some decent value, particularly, again, if you're playing those multis. Boy, this is the kind of race that you can already kind of separate yourself.
And if you're playing those multis from home, I got to remind you again for this deal. Sign up to DRF Bets. Access a $200 free bet with no deposit required. Start betting. DRF.com/join. Promo code FREEBET09. Approximate post time for race number 6 at beautiful Gulfstream Park on Thursday, 3:05 Eastern. Good luck.